Hey everyone, how's it going? I thought I'd just do a little video for you. I know I keep saying that, but I thought I'd just do one anyway. I know I haven't uploaded for a week or so, but I've just been that busy really. I apologise for my last video. I know the frame rate was slightly smaller on the screen, and that was my fault really. I was recording in 720 instead of 1080p. Silly boy. So, a little update on me. I haven't been really that well this week. Basically, I've had terrible guts. Don't know what's caused it, to be honest. And to be honest, for not doing anything at all, it sent me anxiety through the roof, which was a bit of a surprise, really. But you know, I know now that if I'm not doing anything, my anxiety goes through the roof. So, lesson learned: not to get ill. So, I thought I'd do a top 10 thing again. This one is from the NHS. So I thought I'd read you them out, and I'll put my personal thing to it really, and see if if they're right or wrong. I know it sounds silly, but everyone's different, and I thought see if I can put my little stamp on it really. So they say on their website for anxiety and depression, and I've got a little list here, so I'll try my best. So they say, number 1, it's important to think clearly when you're flooded with fear and anxiety. The first thing to do is take time out so you can physically calm down. Completely agree with that. I mean, if you feel yourself it's going to get that bad, I mean really bad, by all means I do it as well. If it gets that bad, I mean just take yourself out of the situation, calm yourself down, and enter back into the situation again and see if you can go through it a bit further, I guess. So yeah, I think that's a good one, I think. Number 2, breathe through panic. If you start to get a faster heartbeat or sweating palms, the best thing is not to fight it. Stay where you are and simply feel the panic without trying to distract yourself. Place the palm of your hand on your stomach and breathe slowly and deeply. The goal is to help the mind get used to coping with panic, which takes the fear away from it. Oh yes, I mean that is a big yes. I mean, I've said it in my last video, breathing techniques to get through panic is a godsend, absolute godsend. I mean, I've said before, I wasn't a big believer of breathing through panic and with breathing techniques, and I thought what a waste of time until I got taught it properly. And then it just takes that little bit and you think, right, I'm going to try this, and before you know it, you are getting through it. And I thought, Christ, I'm getting through this. And the first time I did it, I thought, I'm doing alright here, I'm calming down. So yeah, like I say, it's a big yes from me, is that. Number 3, face your fears. Avoiding fears only makes them scarier. Whatever your fear, if you face it, it should start to fade. If you panic one day getting into a lift, for example, it's best to take back into the lift the next day. I think I read that wrong. Stupid dyslexia. Yes, completely agree. Yeah, I mean, you have to face your fears eventually. I mean, if it is hard, don't get me wrong, very hard to do. I mean, there's a few occasions where I've completely, just run away from it, and it makes it worse. I think so anyway. Instead of like going back into the scenario the day later, I think if I did that, I think it would have been a less of an impact, and the memory would have remembered it anyway. But because obviously I ran away from it the first time round, it just makes it a lot worse. So yeah, I definitely agree with that one, that you do have to face your fears, or you just end up getting smaller and smaller and smaller in your bubble, really, and you just end up not going out. Now, we don't want to be lodged in our room or a house and we can't get out at all. So big yes for me. Face your fears. Just say, sod it, I'm gonna do it. So, and I'm sure you'll get through it. So number 4, imagine the worst. Try and imagine the worst thing that can happen. Perhaps it's panicking and having a heart attack. Then trying to think to yourself into having a heart attack. It's just not possible. The fear will run away the more you chase it. I'm not so sure on that one. I mean, imagine the worst. I mean, with me, if I imagine the worst, it causes my anxiety to go through the roof. It's if, like I say, if you think of the worst, you're going to panic a lot more. So I would say with that one, I would think of, right, I'm going into this situation, then, there might be some people there that can, calm me down, or I can calm myself down, or they're going to be friendly, or I'm going to go in this situation. It's not going to be actually that bad. And if it is getting worse, then at least right, well, I've got through this stage, maybe I can get through the next stage, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. So, number 5. It sometimes helps to challenge fearful thoughts. For example, if you're scared of getting trapped in a lift and suffocating, ask yourself if you have heard of this happening to someone. Ask yourself what you would say to a friend who had a similar fear. Look at the evidence that's there, and I'm sure 9 times out of 10 that there is nothing there that's going to cause you physical harm. I mean, we've all been through it ourselves, that we all look for the worst in this scenario, and it's like, oh, that's going to hurt me, I don't want to do that, I'm going to embarrass myself, etc, etc. And usually, and I know it's very hard because it's still hard for me, there's nothing there that's going to cause you physical harm at all. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? That you're going to feel dizzy and you're going to feel detached from your body. You might even pass out, but you won't die. You will not die from it. I mean, there is people around you that are not going to point the finger and go, oh, what's happening to him? Oh, keep away kind of scenario. But they're not. If there's something wrong, people will notice, are you alright? They'll reassure you. I mean, if they don't, then they're an absolute imbecile. So, but yeah, you got to look at the evidence of it all, and you think, yeah, there's nothing really there that's going to help, it's going to hurt me, really. So, yeah, I recommend doing, you've got to look at the evidence. I do it. And when you get through a panic scenario, and it's like, well, there's nothing there that's really going to cause me harm. So, yeah, it's a big one for me. And number 6, don't try to be perfect. Life is full of stresses, yet many of us feel that our lives must be perfect. Bad times and setbacks will always happen, and it's important to remember that life is messy. Ooh, yeah, big time. I mean, I try to be Mr. Perfect all the time, flipping, presenting myself well, this, that and the other, that I had no faults in life. And if you put that much amount of pressure on yourself, then you are going to come off the worst. Then you've just got to acknowledge, right, no one's perfect. some people better than others, but does that mean they're actually better than you? No, it doesn't at all. End of the day, don't try and be perfect. What's the point of being perfect all the time? There's no point at all. Everyone has the faults. No, and so what? So what? Just, be yourself. If we make mistakes, we make mistakes. We learn from them. If we were perfect all the time and we don't make mistakes, then what a boring life that would be. Just don't be perfect, I guess. So I strongly recommend that. Don't be perfect. No need to. So, number 7. Visualize a happy place. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine a place of safety and calm. It could be a picture of you walking on a beautiful beach, or snuggled up in bed with a cat next to you, or a happy memory from childhood. Let the positive feelings soothe you until you feel more relaxed. Yeah, I don't know if it helps a lot, but because from my personal view, I used to try and do it and visualize yourself in a happy place, and I think it takes you so far. I used to visual myself going to a beach where there was no one about, golden sands, and it was just my beach, and I thought, I'd love to go there or do something like that. It does distract your mind. I do think it distracts your mind, but for some reason with me, when I try to do something like that, it feels like you'll always remember, I'm doing this because I'm having anxiety or whatever, really. And it does calm me down. It does try, to a point, I think. If it works for you, it works for you. But from my personal point of view, it does to a certain point. But you'll always I always think you'll always remember, right, why am I doing this? Because I'm panicking. So yeah, it's a 50-50 on me. So, talk about it. This is number 8. Share fears take away a lot of their scariness. If you can't talk to a partner, friend, or a family member, call a helpline such as the Samaritans on such and such a number. If your fears aren't going away, you can talk to your GP for help. GPs can refer people for counselling, psychotherapy, or help through the online mental health services. So, number 8. Big yes from me. If you are really going through rock bottom and you feel like you're going to end it, by all means, do not think of taking your own life, because there is always help out there. There's always someone there to listen. All you need to do is just pick up the phone. That's all you need to do, and dial on your doctor's number or whatever, or the helplines. Just don't think that. There's always help there. So, number 9. Go back to basics. Lots of people turn to alcohol or drugs to self-treat anxiety, but this will only make matters worse. Simple. Everyday things like a good night's sleep or a decent good meal or walks often is the best cure for anxiety. Oh yes, I completely agree with that one. Drugs, don't take drugs. They're just, why do them in the first place? They're just going to destroy your insides, and it's just going to mess with your mind. and they're only a short high anyway. I mean, personally, I haven't done them myself, like, but I know other people that have done them, and you know, what's the point of doing it? What's the point? There's no point at all, and it just costs you a lot of money. So I'd rather spend my money on something else, really. With alcohol, yeah, with me, I gave it up. I gave up drinking because of this, because I noticed in myself that when I used to go out, you know, going out with friends, going for drinks and nights out and stuff like that, really, I noticed a week or so later that I was really miserable and ill and tired all the time, and I did realise, right, alcohol doesn't really agree with me at all, so I gave it up. I know it might sound boring and stuff like that, but you've got to think of yourself. I mean, if it's not doing you any favours, then what's the point doing it? So, and plus, it saves you money. You might even buy it, you know, if you keep on doing it for a long time, you might get a new car. So you go around in a nice car. So, what can I say about that? So yeah, I go back to basics. You know, if you try and complicate it all, you know, you got a lot of things. All right, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. You know, if you just take it back down to basics, and basically go for a little walk in the garden, round the block, or whatever. Really, it'll calm you down. You know, but you can't get rid of the basics. So, yeah, big yes for me is that. Number 10. Now, this is my personal favourite. Is reward yourself. Finally, give yourself a treat when you've made that call you've been through dredging. For example, reinforce your success by treating yourself to a massage, a country walk, a meal out, a book, a DVD, or whatever you want. Oh yeah, I mean, whatever I do with an anxiety-provoking situation, and I thought, right, I've got through this, I buy myself a bar of chocolate. That's what I do. I thought, I got through that, and I can remember doing that because I bought myself a bar of chocolate, and you feel better, and I do myself. You do feel better when you've done something that causes you that much anxiety and stress. You know, you need to reward yourself, and you think, right, I've done that, and I feel happy about myself. I'm going to treat myself. So, yeah, big yes from me. I like doing that. So that's their top 10 NHS, top 10 things to help with anxiety and depression. I think it's a good list. I mean, it's on the NHS website, and I'm not sponsored by this video from them. So if you want these top 10 tips, go on their website. It's there. Print them out. If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, then at least you're giving it a try. But before I make a little video of, and if it helps, it helps. I know I'm a bit of an amateur when it comes to doing videos like this, but I'm learning as I go along. So please be kind in the comments if I get any comments. So anyway, it's the end of the video. So thank you very much for your time. See ya.